bro, I don't care what you say. You throwing a transphobic cisgender hissy fit doesn't negate my lived experiences, okay? Like, I don't care whether you believe me or not. Trans women do experience PMS or PMDD, okay? It's not a fully researched thing yet, but there are a little bit of research into it, and they have found plenty of trans women who have PMS or PMDD symptoms. So you throwing a hissy fit or you not liking it because you don't want more shared experiences in connections with trans women because you find us icky and invalid doesn't take away our lived experiences, okay? So you can go off having your little tantrum about how we're not women and we don't have PMS or PMDD, and guess what? We'll continue being women, and those of us that do have PMS or PMDD will continue to have PMS or PMDD.
Say what?
Trans women do experience PMS.
That sounds like some bullshit to me.
Now, call me crazy, but I don't think having too many tacos and Bud Lights the night before, then waking up the next day with some gas, some stomach issues, and possibly a little irritability, I don't think that's the same thing as having PMS. Sorry, sir. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a very quick and pretty crazy Clown World update for you guys today, and as usual, we just don't have any time to waste, so let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this rather husky individual is Alicia. Now, Alicia is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a transbian or trans lesbian. Now, Alicia posted this photo to kick off Pride Month. The caption says, "I'm so happy as Alicia."
What is up with your IG?
All right, let's keep it moving with a real-life sighting of a Biden-Harris flag. Well, it's not actually real life. It's on TikTok, but I'm fairly certain that is really hanging in that lady's yard. I thought these Biden-Harris signs were like the Loch Ness Monster of Bigfoot. People say they're out there, but you never really see one. Roll it.
Hey y'all, let me just clear up a few misconceptions about me having a Biden flag here in Texas. And that is, I am a bona fide Texan. I was born right here in Fort Worth. And historically, y'all, Texas is a Democrat state, okay? For all you numbnuts that don't know your butt from a hole in the ground, Texas only turned Republican about 35 years ago when the fake-ass Texans started to move in here, starting with George Bush.
You're an idiot!
All right, next up we have yet another Joe Biden voter. And listen, I don't care what you think of Trump. You like him, you don't like him, whatever, that's fine. If you say you are going to the ballot box in November to check off Joe Biden's name, does that make any sense at all? Roll it.
It's funny how all these MAGAs are like, you guys don't have rallies. You guys don't have rallies. Really, a rally to support? Anyway, guess what, MAGA doodles? We are having a rally. We're going to have the biggest Biden rally you ever saw. It's going to be bigger and greater than any Trump rally. We're going to have more people than Trump could ever hope for at this rally. It's November 5th. We'll all be there.
You must have got manure for your brains.
These people are so excited to vote for Joe Biden. Yet here he is at a recent Juneteenth event where there's music playing. I'll have to leave it muted so I don't get hit with a copyright strike, but look at everyone around him dancing. It looks like someone stuck a statue in the middle of the crowd dancing, like a robotic statue. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
What the hell is going on?
So this young lady's parents are going to her apartment for a visit, and she says if they misgender or head name her, she's going to make them put money in the misgender jar. Those must be some proud parents. Roll it.
My parents are coming to my apartment today. So I made a thing. You know, it's just a jar with a sticky note on it, but Well, because I kept making jokes at Christmas. Whenever my mom would use the wrong name or pronouns, I would tell her to go put a quarter in the misgender jar. And I refused to get misgendered in my own f***ing home without getting paid for it. So I'll stitch this, later once they leave. If I get any money, I won't be f***ing happy about it if I do get money, but I'll let y'all know.
What a bitch.
Now, I don't know what's up with this next clip and why it looks like it was filmed on a camera from 20 years ago, but this individual, who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman, is going to talk about breastfeeding. And it kind of reminds me of the fella in the first clip who was talking about EMS. Roll it.
Some transgender women can most definitely produce breast milk in some cases. That is dependent on years of hormones and good breast development. It's certainly not a given, but those individuals acting like it's impossible are just wrong. And there are some studies, such as the ones that NHS references, that do suggest that the quality of breast milk is good. But it's an under-researched area, and there are also studies that have pointed to potential nutrition concerns. This is something that we should research more. But as we do so, we should also consider this complexly. There are tons of things that lead to lower quality breast milk, like caffeine and energy drinks, and alcohol and nicotine and other drugs. And there are plenty of options that also don't involve solely breastfeeding a child from a trans woman's breast milk. See, what is blatantly transphobic, and yes, I will use that word here, about the outrage over transgender woman breastfeeding is that plenty of biological females make bad choices while breastfeeding, and we allow them to do this. And just by the numbers, that is a much, much bigger problem than the occasional trans woman breastfeeding. Because let's actually think about this. It's an uphill battle for a transgender woman to breastfeed. It's time and effort and money, not unlike that of females who end up needing to work with lactation consultants to get breastfeeding to happen. And unlike some angry people on the internet, we have better things to do than spend every day thinking about breastfeeding.
What did you say? What the f did you just say?
Some transgender women can most definitely produce breast milk in some cases.
What the f is this guy talking about?
Hey, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out. Oh, a huge shout out to the sponsors of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. Wow. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by our first sponsor is our great friend Deshaun Charles. You will recognize him in the comment section as the Shizzle. Well, actually, no you won't, because they've got him censored and banned in the comment section, and it seems like they're doing that to a lot of you guys lately. Anyway, the second sponsor of today's video is Busy Bee. Busy Bee, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate the kind words, generosity, and support. So today's video sponsors are Sean Charles. You'll recognize him as the Shizzle in the comments when they finally let him start commenting again, and Busy Bee. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next, this is so distracting. If you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. Get this off the screen, please, now. Ugh.
That is weird. Just a big bulge in your pants.
All right, next up we have this fella who is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman, and I'm pretty sure he calls himself a lesbian, but that's neither here nor there. He's going to tell us 4 questions to never ask a trans person. Now pay attention to number 4, because he says there's never any regret. Well, that's a bold-faced lie. We've seen more and more stories come out over the past few years of people very much regretting their decisions to go through with this stuff. Roll it.
There are 4 questions that you should never ask a trans person. Question number 1, have you gotten the surgery? Look, I understand the curiosity about bottom surgery. Is one of the reasons I talk about it so much on my feed. But not every trans person wants to discuss their downstairs with someone they just met. It's a pretty personal thing to talk about. So unless they bring it up first, please refrain from asking questions. Question number 2. What bathroom do you use? The bathroom someone uses is their own dang business. I am a woman and I feel comfortable using the women's room. But if I didn't feel comfortable, I could use the men's room and no one should bat an eyelash. We're just there to pee, so what does it matter what bathroom we use? Question number 3. So is dating like extra hard for you? My dating life has been a million times better since I transitioned. I used to show up to dates pretending to be someone I wasn't. But now that I can show up as myself, I find my relationships so much more fulfilling. And finally, question number 4. Do you think you'll ever regret it? The answer is always no. Think about it. To be trans in 2024 means giving up a lot of comfort and privilege. Every trans person has weighed these things heavily before coming out, so there's no point in even asking. Yes, it was worth it. No, I will never regret it because my life is so much better now.
See, now that's some bullshit.
So in yesterday's video, I played a clip of former Vice President Joe Biden giving this ridiculous speech, this Moms Demand Action in Everytown conference for gun safety. So today we're going to be wrapping it up with yet another clip from the same speech, and it is just as ridiculous as yesterday's clip. Now listen to what he says at the very end of this clip. He says nobody needs a magazine that can hold 200 shells. Well, there's no such thing as a magazine that can hold 200 shells because, first of all, shells refer to shotgun shells. I don't even know if there's a 200-round magazine for an AR-15. He doesn't know what the he's talking about, and this just proves it. Anyway, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
It's time once again to do what I did when I was a senator. Ban assault weapons. I mean it. Thank you. Who in God's name needs a magazine which can hold 200 shells? Nobody, that's right.
What the hell did you just say?
Who in God's name needs a magazine which can hold 200 shells?
I don't know what the you're talking about.
And you ain't black.